Hello, everyone. I'm Chester44, also known as Philae, and welcome to this Let's Play of Queen's Wish 2, The Tormenta! Last episode, we made it to, Lascara, the town nearby. We've started talking with the various people here, and we still have more to do and more to talk to. So, here in the inn, let's talk to this traitor Mista. There is a wiry, angry man with bronze skin standing in the middle of the inn. He is drunk and shouting. The other patrons, all locals, are doing their best to ignore him. The gentle curse is full of weaklings. Useless weapons and no spines, always licking the shores of Haven. He continues his ranting. At one point he says, I am Umista, a proud stonecutter of the Low Dog, and I won't bow to anyone, Haven or Row. Then he notices you. Listen quietly. He looks you boldly in the eye. Then he grins. Much to the relief of the other patrons, he walks to a chair and sits opposite to you. Have a seat, Haven. Drink some nice, thick, fermented milk. Enjoy the row until you abandon us again. You seem pretty angry. The Low Dog is an angry place. The rock and the winds bring it out of us. Some of us even become raiders, roaming the gentle coast and making big mistakes. Not me! I shouldn't be angry now, but these folk, their useless arms and armor, it brings the shouting out. What do you think of the gentle coast? They're rich and weak, with their quivering men and their domineering women. They do our trading for us. They take too much money and they think they're better. Come to the Highlands, Haven. Come see the real Row. Useless arms and armor. Look at them! They know they aren't Row anymore. They know the spirit of the Rakage doesn't live in them, so they spend too much money on blades they never use, on armor that wouldn't even block a good punch. They're even led by a woman. Granted, I hear she learned magic from the Erudiko. I have to respect that. But still. Now I see. I think I have an idea what we're going to be dealing with over in Lodaga. What do you think of Haven? Well, you're bigger, stronger, so you get to control us for now. But us, Row, we know how to watch. We know how to wait. Why do you speak so freely to me? I've never been much for the traditions. I'm too loud for gentle knowing, too much of a drinker for working, too honest for deep truth. That's why I'm a traitor. The Low Dog has to be rid of me sometimes to be able to stand me. Honest people die in the Rakage. Okay, and what is your problem? Raiders! The fools came out of the hills. Some of them attacked you. The rest stole from the weaklings of the gentle coast. And some of them, they took from my clan. They took our claim. Now we need to find warriors who want stone. You don't approve of the raids. There are a lot of folk I hate, but I'm not a fool enough to want war. The last rebellion even took our walls. We rise up again, who knows what you'll take from us? I'm interested in your stone. Well, we have a claim, a quarry. Some of the raiders saw it was weak and grabbed it from us. I'm looking to pay someone to take it back. Looking for stone to remake your forts, Prince? We can provide it. Where's your quarry? It's in the gentle coast of the northeast, across 2 rivers. Some of my clanmates are there. They can explain what's happening. And what's the exact problem there? Well, there are raiders and cow-wolves. That's what they wrote me. But it was a quick message and they were leaving a lot out. They can tell you more, then you can kill the invaders. That part at least should be simple. What brings you to town? I'm a merchant and a trader. I bring loads of fine stone and the builders to properly use it. Building and stone are the businesses of a Low Dog, and it needs people like me to sell their work. Okay. Reggie Jamak. There's a young man of the Row. Oh god, that picture looks so pixelated. There's a young man of the Row sitting at one of the inn's tables. He wears heavy wool clothes, dirty and worn from many miles on the road. His hair is a fiery red. There's a pile of small burlap sacks on the floor by his feet. He's a popular fellow. Local villagers, thin and hungry looking, constantly enter. They speak with him and leave, and none of them go without one of his bags. They look like they contain grain, much needed food for the poor of the Row. When his work is finally done and the bags are mostly gone, he invites you to sit with him. For once in life, the mighty come after the poor. Come, noble envoy, and sit with Reggie Jamak. I welcome the company. Greetings to you. And to you, visitor of Haven. Your fame travels ahead of you. I would love to speak with you and learn more of the world. It won't keep me from my purpose. And what is your purpose? I travel the lands of the Row and feed the hungry. There is no city on our mountains I do not visit to bring a moment of hope to those who struggle. If you have a moment, I would love to tell you a story. It might teach you about our land. How do you help the poor? A kind word and a day's supply of food. I can't save those who struggle, but I can give a moment to rest and take a breath. How do you know who is worth helping? Because they ask. The Row are proud. No true one among us would ask for aid unless it was truly needed. Sometimes a brigand tries to take advantage. When this happens, I can count on the townsfolk to deal with him. Where does the food you give away come from? Many donate to my cause. The rest comes from my own clan's farms on the gentle coast. What inspired you to this calling? I was inspired by the lost. I do what they would have wanted, what she might still want. Inspired by the lost? To explain, I would have to tell you my tale. If you wish to hear it, you only need to ask. You sit and speak with Reggie Jamak. You find him excellent company. You enjoy the food and drink of the inn and talk of traveling the Row. He's been everywhere but the underworld and the highest peaks. Every once in a while, a poor villager enters the inn. When this happens, Reggie makes sure to provide a bag of food. You seem strange for a Row. And that is a strange thing to say. I help those who are in need. Why is that strange? Actually, never mind. Of course. I would like to hear your story. He nods and takes a deep breath. His smile fades from his face. It is a sad story. All strange, all true. It is why I spend so much time on the road trying to help those in need. It is the story of my sister, Sorienne. Tell me about Sorienne. She was a lovely, wonderful girl, quiet and strange, touched by spirits, some said. When she was young, they said she was simple, but we knew the truth. She spoke when she had something to say. Yet she was also charmed. She said truths others did not want to hear. She became skilled with herbs. She would calm an angry beast with a touch. Then our villagers changed. They no longer said she was simple. They said she was a witch. Did she have magical powers? I don't know. I never will. I like to think that her spirit was so kind and good that it entered those around her. The gentle coast shunned her. We are wealthy, cultured folk on the coast, but we are still Row. There are many old superstitions that remain. The rage of the Rakage is hidden, but it is still there. What happened to her? Reggie's voice becomes slow and grim. She was shunned and she fled. She packed up and ran away in the middle of the night. Of course, the moment I found out, I packed my own supplies and went out hunting for her. It was the first of my many journeys. Where did you find her? I didn't. I looked for her a year. In the end, it was in the High Litha. Desperation drove me there. I was camped in the snow by the pilgrimage road. There, her ghost came to me. She was there. She smiled. And she gave me a message. What was her message? That she was at peace. That I should grieve and move on. And if I needed help not grieving, I should help the poor. Help those who need it in her name. Then she was gone. She gave me advice. I took it. Here I am. Do you know what happened to her? She died. I don't know how. I don't want to know. I think the truth would break me. Have you spoken to her since? No. I hope her spirit is at rest. That is all I can do. Thank you for the story. I am glad you found the time to listen. You see, I have reason to think her spirit may be restless. Since you traveled the Rakage, I wanted you to know about her. You mentioned that Sorian's spirit may be restless. Yes, I don't want to sound mad, yet in my travels I have heard rumors. The ghost of a woman with red hair. She stares at travelers, but she says nothing. I wonder if she is still out there in the cold, searching. Where was her ghost seen? In the peaks of the High Litha, wandering this cold, dead glaciers. What do you think she wants? I don't know. When I have found her, how do I find you? I can best be found in the inns. There's no city in which I am a stranger. Alright. Thank you. Alright, anything up here in the upper floor? A couple of Scarans. Beds to rest in. Nobody saw anything. Haha. Alright, that's everything in the inn. We still have, let's see. We've been to the trading hall. We haven't been to Haven Hall, and we haven't been to the main hall. Let's look in Haven Hall. You enter the Haven Hall. It only makes sense that Haven would have a large embassy in this town. The place is a bit of a jumble. It has to serve as a site for diplomatic missions, a military headquarters, and an inn for travelers from outside the row. Right now, it's eerily quiet. Since you were attacked, merchants have been clearing out, spies have gone off to spy, and soldiers have been returning to the field to prepare for battle. You hear shouting coming from upstairs. That is where the activity is. The Gentle Coast contains the southern lowlands of the Rakage. It is the region with the warmest climate and smoothest terrain. I think we already read one of these. Yeah, I think we already read on that. Okay, that's the barracks. And that's where they are making storing the weapons. Alright, what's happening up here? You emerge upstairs into a large meeting hall. Soldiers are everywhere. Maps and plans are being consulted. The 7th Army is camped to the south, and your general is here making plans. The Row attempted to kill 2 of Queen Sharon's children. There's going to be a spectacular response. What form that response takes depends on your actions. When the general sees you, he waves. "Oh, welcome, Prince! I would beg a moment of your time." He sits at his desk in the northeast corner as soldiers scurry off in directions to prepare. Of course, let me just look around in here a bit first. Locked. Not locked. Ooh, silver coins. Alright, what's this book say? The resources of the Rakage. To build up forts in the Rakage, you will need wood, stone, iron, and quicksilver. Wood can be found in the southern regions of this mountainous land. To get iron, go west to the woods of the Cronus Forest. It is mined from the hills there. To get stone, east to the hills of Lodaga. To get quicksilver, that most precious and unpredictable resources, you must ascend to the icy hostile High Litha. General Angach. Ooh, I got a voice for this guy, I think. Oh, my voice. The general of the 7th Army of Haven rises to greet you. He is exactly what you would expect for a general in the Rakage. Tall, aging, grizzled, scarred. The veteran of many wars. In a land like the Row with a history of rebellion, this is the sort of man you want. Bows to you and says, "Welcome, Prince. I am General Angach. I command our troops to the south. I assure you that we are ready for whatever comes. And please, let me give you my deepest apology." Apologize to me for what? "For leaving you exposed, for letting the raids form and allowing them to threaten you. It was an unforgivable mistake, and it won't happen again." Apology accepted. "Thank you, Prince. We are eager to deal with some harsh discipline to the Rakage. However, the Queen has instructed us to give you time to do your work. When it is time, we will be ready to strike. We'll make them pay." I'd like to discuss the Rakage. "Of course. I imagine you didn't plan to spend much time in this land of scoundrels. The Gentle Coast is nice. They've brought their share of luxuries. It's when you get up into the highlands, the hills and mountains that you have to be paranoid." You don't sound fond of them. Angach thinks about this. "I've been here for 10 years, and I don't know if I like them or not. They are strong. They are brave. The Row of the Highlands can withstand anything. They are cheery and generous. I'm just never sure when they're about to slit my throat." Tell me about the Gentle Coast. It's the Rogue's name for it, and I think they mean it as an insult. The coast is rich. It's made the people here soft. The Roe of the Highlands hate them for it, but Haven protects them. Don't worry about this province. We're in control here. Are you always paranoid? Of course! You always have to be with the Rakage. After all, a century ago everything seemed fine, calm, and peaceful. Then the disaster happened. What disaster? The Great Uprising. Overnight, the Roe were slaughtering us in our beds. Haven put the rebellion down, of course, but it was a bloody affair. That's why we don't let their cities have proper walls anymore. Don't ever be complacent around the Roe. And don't worry. We're ready to fight. General Angach continues to give you as much of his attention as he can spare. He is constantly receiving messages from the field and barking out orders in return. The raiders caught Haven by surprise. He's determined to not let it happen again. I'd like to discuss the Rakage. Oh wait, we've already done that. Tell me about the Raasa. I only ever deal with Raasa Elha. She's a sharp one. She's loyal to Haven and she's a powerful mage. She controls the Gentle Coast well. Wish all the Raasas were like her. The rest of the Rakage hates her. Raasa Elha is hated. She is loyal to Haven. She believes the Rakage is helped by being a vassal. Much of the rest of the Roe sees us as conquerors, and Raasa Elha is the lead collaborator. Understandable. What is the word from Haven? We have our orders from the Queen. You are to follow orders and do diplomacy. Meanwhile, we prepare for war. How are you preparing? Training, maintaining our gear, scouting, reviewing histories of the Great Uprising. The Roe of the Mountains think that they are better than Haven. When the time comes, we will show them the true power that Haven can unleash. Do you think Haven can beat the Rakage in battle? Before Angach can speak, your soldiers raise their arms and let out a wild, angry cheer. The general grins. It will be hard and bloody, but they can't win against us. The only question is how much slaughter there will be. How can war be prevented? By convincing the Rakage to lay down their arms, make amends for the raids, and obey the treaty they signed with us. They have to submit. Now that they dared to raise arms against Prince Sutter and you, there is no other way. What can I do to prevent war? Honestly, I don't know. You will have to do your diplomacy and talk to them. Maybe you can find a way. I wish you luck. We don't want to put this place to the torch. But we will, if the Queen gives the order. Yeah, I hope so too. Personally, what I would try to do, instead of going, let's burn the entire row, or attack everyone, no. We need to find who is actually behind attacking us and deal with them specifically. If it was the Low Daga in general, yes, we'd basically go and deal with the Low Daga and put them down. If it was a specific sect in the Low Daga, we'd go after that sect and tell the Dagans, we won't kill you, we're just going after the people who went after us. But if you stand in the way, you're standing in the way of our swords. That's where I'd go with it. Deal with the actual perpetrators, not the entirety of the area. Either way, one area to look at left, the Circle of the Raasa. You enter the Hall of Raasa Elha, the leader of the Gentle Coast. Like the rest of the Lascara, this chamber is a tasteful mix of Rakage savagery and cosmopolitan elegance. The clan leaders of the road meet here and sit on rough wood stools in a circle, sharing meat grilled over an open fire according to tradition. But the wine is imported and expensive, and the decorations are stylish and tasteful, if outdated. The Raasa of the Gentle Coast is clad in finely cut furs, and a curved blade hangs at her side. Yet this portly middle-aged woman has not seen battle for a long time. Gold jewelry gleams on her fingers and around her neck. Raasa Elha notes the royal insignia on your shoulder. She slowly rises to meet you. Prince Rupert, this is a great honor. Please come and join me in a meal. I am Raasa Elha, and our city is at your disposal. All right, then. As you say. Raasa Elha motions for you to join her on the stools. Armed servants come in to serve you tea, grilled meat, and vegetables, and whatever other beverages you desire. Before business, she insists on showing you their humble hospitality. Finally, she sets aside her plate and cup, sighs, belches, and says, Thank you for your patience with royal hospitality, honored prince. We can engage in proper ceremony now. She rises and bows. I am Raasa Elha, honored leader of the Gentle Coast, and I welcome the Prince of Haven to its loyal vassal. Excuse me. I'm sorry, my throat is aching. I am Prince Rupert of Haven. I greet you in the name of the Empire of Haven. She nods approvingly. You have a bit of a reputation as a rogue, but that was well spoken. And now, at last, we can come to business. We have a lot of it, I am afraid. I have been sent on a diplomatic mission by the Queen. Raasa Elha nods. She clearly had already heard about this. A full diplomatic mission from Haven. It has been a long time since we had such attention. Very long. The leader of the Gentle Coast is a matronly figure. It's hard to imagine how she became a ruler of a warrior land, even in a tame place like Lascara. Then when she finds her tea too cold, she waves her fingers over it, and in a moment it is steaming again. Her raw power doesn't come from her blade. These things have a traditional process, of course, things that must be done. I imagine your general in Fort Meadow 4 was provided by the Queen to guide you. You seem to know all that is about to happen. Raasa Elha gives a little shrug, sips some tea, and belches lightly. The backward provinces of the Row don't care for these diplomatic formalities. Only the more civilized people of the Gentle Coast recognize their importance. So what happens now? Now, customarily, you ask me, as Raasa, if I have any petitions for our masters in Haven. In other words, is anything wrong? Are there any problems that we can't fix on our own? Do we need your help? To which I say, officially, the Gentle Coast has no petitions for Haven. None at all. Really? No demands? None at all. The Rakage has tried to make itself a problem for Haven. The Gentle Coast will not be a part of that problem. This concludes the petitions. You may report our cooperation to General Miranda. Haven needs to know who is on your side. What else do we need to discuss? Well, there is one small traditional formality. After the Great Uprising, Haven agreed that it would not send a major force up the Pilgrimage Road into the mountains without asking permission. From the Raasa of the Gentle Coast. Me. Just a formality, mind you. How do I request permission? Just ask. It is always given. Why do I need to request permission? Tradition, mostly. It was part of a treaty signed a century ago. Also, it shows respect. We of the Gentle Coast value Haven without question. For the wilder lands of the Rakage, well, respect is important. I request permission as Prince of Haven to travel throughout the Rakage. Raasa Elha smiles. I am honored by the request. I formally declare that you have permission to travel the Pilgrimage Road. I think that is everything, then. The Pilgrimage Road? It is the main north-south road through our land. It starts north of Lascara and is marked by huge pairs of standing stones, erected by the Low Dagons in centuries past. It leads to the Cronus Woods, then the Low Daga, and finally the High Litha. And finally, I wish to give you a humble bit of tribute, as expected for a visitor of such importance. What sort of tribute? We are a trading port, and we gather a lot of wealth as such. We will have building materials directed to your forts, wood and stone to help you rebuild your defenses. And finally, please consult our library. She points to the door to the northeast. The Rakage has its own researchers and its own arts of war. We hope you will learn some valuable skills while you are here. And that concludes the stuffy formalities. I am sure that there is much you want to know. I'd like to know more about the Gentle Coast. Of course. We are one of the 4 provinces of Rakage, the lowest one on the coast. We are the safest province, the wealthiest, because of our ingenuity and hard work. Because of our prosperity, we are the envy of the other provinces. They are painfully jealous of us. What resources do you produce? Well, some food, some wood. Not much in terms of raw materials. We produce trade. We produce knowledge. The other provinces dig up iron or chip stone, menial work. We control the ports, so we are the ones who turn it into wealth. This is the safest province. Of course. We have risen above the constant savagery and raids and clan warfare that plague the highlands. We will be seen as civilized people in the eyes of the outside world. The other provinces envy you. Of course they do. We are safer, more civilized, and wealthier. In turn, they cling to their backward ways. They constantly whine about us. They say we are not true to the ways of the Row. False. Every Row has a mountain within, us as much as all of them. Every row is a mountain. That is what we believe. Inside me, inside all of us, is gentle knowing, working, and deep truth. The balance of the three makes a row. As you travel, you should read our writings. Look around this hall. There are some books you might find illuminating. Are you true to the ways of the Rakage? She sits up extra straight. I am absolutely true. There are moments where I fear I am the truest row. It's a great burden. I will carry it. What faults have they found with you? They think we are decadent. We don't fight enough. We don't waste enough of our time in squabbles and duels of honor and raiding. They don't see that their old world is past and Haven brings a new, better way. Tell me about the other provinces. They are the Cronus Woods, the Low Daga, and the High Litha. You'll have to visit all of them for a full diplomatic tour, I am afraid. All of them have rebelled against Haven in the past. All pretend to be calm. For now. Tell me about the Cronus Woods. A heavily forested region to the north and west. An enchanted land. Their forest has a natural magic in it. So they worship it, of course, in their backwards way. A good source for wood, precious amber, and the products of their iron mines. Tell me about the Low Daga. The rocky hills to the northeast. Builders, stoneworkers, clannish brutes warped by the dry, rocky lands they inhabit. A lot of the raiders who attacked you were from there. It is their way. Tell me about the High Litha. Our highest peak, our hardest people. It is a remote land, highly populated. It is also a land of ghosts. The Lithans drink the quicksilver they mine to speak with their spirits. Sort of a mad place. They see themselves as the judges of the Rakage, the keepers of our true spirit. They look down on us, literally and metaphorically. Raasa Elha sits and speaks with you. Tea and tidbits to eat are brought constantly. In this chaotic time, she is very busy, but she makes it clear that you can have as much of her time as you wish. Tell me about the Raasa. We are the 4 leaders of our 4 provinces. Don't think of us as kings and queens, though. We don't have that much power. The Rakage is a land of clans, fighting and joining and fighting again. An ancient, impossible tangle. Our main jobs are dealing with outsiders, settling the more difficult disputes between clans, and being moral leaders. We keep the deep truth when life makes it easy to forget. How did you become a Raasa? Oh, it is a process. The clans put forward their candidates. There is a long period of negotiation and argument. Occasionally, the Geld Nas is paid to rid us of a troublesome applicant. Finally, the clan leaders ascend to Prova Krug to a final argument and select the new Raasa. Tell me about the clans. Some are tiny families. Some are clumps of dozens of people. Some clans like mine are huge, sprawling affairs of hundreds of family members and histories that go back centuries. I'd like to know more about the other Raasas. I would rather not say. I do not like them. They do not like me. I cannot give you an honest account. You will meet them soon enough if you carry out your mission. You mentioned deep truth. Ah, yes, the deep truth is what any row truly believes. When outsiders invade us, we store the true ways of our people in our hearts. We can say whatever we need to say to survive as long as our deep truth is held within. So the Rakage will always lie to me? No, not always. When doing business, we speak plain. However, when talking to a Havenite, we may tend to say what you want to hear. Our true beliefs need to be a private thing. And what is your deep truth? Oh, I am but kidding. The deep truth is a practice of the barbaric highlands. We of the gentle coast have been civilized by trade and commerce with the outside world. We don't need such elaborate mental games. You don't need a deep truth. No. We have power, wealth, and security. Hiding one's deep truth is a game for the weak. Down here, we're proud members of the Empire of Haven. We don't need to hide anything. But if you had a secret deep truth, isn't that what you would say to conceal it? Raasa Elha is startled, but only for a moment. You learn fast, Prince. I think you have nothing to worry about when you talk to the other Raasas. Anything else? I need to talk about my mission. Yes, a full diplomatic mission. You must interact with both your vassal and the Havenites who control it. You must evaluate your 3 governors to see if they are competent. You must make sure the Raasas have no pressing petitions. That's all I need. Then I wish you the best of journeys. It is good that you are here, good that this mission is taking place. In the end, Prince, you may save us foolish row from ourselves. 2 wood, 1 stone. Hey, that's something. Alright, let's look through the various rooms here. 1 is a mountain. The most important the episode's gonna be a bit long. The most important principle for understanding the Rakage is that every person there sees his or her soul as a mountain. It has 3 elevations: the gentle base, the busy slopes, and the remote and untouchable peak. The base of the mountain is knowing. These gentle lands are where knowledge is stored. It is the most accessible level of the rowers' minds, where different ideas and principle are exchanged with the other. The slopes of the mountain are where working takes place. This is where the row plan their lives: hunting, building, crafting, fighting, raiding families, expanding. Working is influenced by knowing and deep truth, but it only cares about safety and survival. The peak of the mountain is deep truth, where a row keeps deeply held principles. This is the most remote part of the mind. The deep truth is kept hidden from invaders and oppressors. Haven can force a row to say its truth, but the deep truth remains safely hidden within, forever untouched. Okay. Can't take anything here. Let's see what's over here. Small waiting room, I guess. Treaty of vassalage between Haven and the Rakage. Here is outlined the vassalage contract between the mighty Empire of Haven and the humble Rakage, between King Sava of Haven and Raasa Gorinan of the High Litha, speaking for her land. Haven declares that the Rakage is a full vassal with all protections included. An attack on the Rakage is an attack on us. Thieves and raiders in the Rakage are an offense to Haven and will be removed. Full trade between our powers is guaranteed. In return, the Rakage grants Haven full movement in their territories and full consultation on any political matters. Land for 7 forts will be provided for Haven, and the Row will protect the security of these lands. All crimes committed by Havenites will be judged by Havenites. Crimes of the Rakage will be judged by Haven if Haven expresses a wish for this in a reasonable amount of time. This agreement will last as long as Haven and the Rakage exist as independent peoples. So agreed in sacred bond by both parties in the year 341. This is an old, thick tome, bound in leather. You flip through it. It is a record of magical and war research in the Rakage, collected by the Erudito. Much of it is incomprehensible. A lot of it you already know. A bookmark indicates one battle technique that is very interesting. It takes some time to study it. You can now train the ability Shield Shatter. Your next attack with your weapon will do 25% extra damage and make your foe vulnerable. That'll be good. These other abilities will take time to learn and find. Curious. But yes, Shield Shatter. That used to be here. Must have been replaced by something. I'm definitely going to get that for at least Elspeth. Possibly also you. Okay. And that is where I'm going to have to end this episode here. Episode went a little long, I know, but that's fine. Next episode, we'll report in back at Fort Meadow 4. We'll go down, get the papers from Port Osborne. Excuse me. And then we have to go deal with the Cronus claim, the High Litha claim, the Doggin claim, and take a look at the Erudito ruins. That, however, is going to be in the next episode. So, until then, I am Chester44, also known as Phalai. That is Prince Rupert, Elspeth, Terrence, and Patricia. This has been a Let's Play of Queen's Wish 2, The Tormentor, and I shall see you all next time.